Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? So, this will be the last Spooksville reading for this book. We will be finishing up and starting on chapter 16. Yes, I just got out of the shower, so I'm sorry if my wet hair disturbs anyone. And I have a black poster board, I guess, because my room is really dirty and I didn't feel like cleaning it. So that's on me. Chapter 16. Sally was peering in through a barred window approximately 20 feet above their heads. She was dirty and tired looking, but otherwise no worse for wear. "Sally," Adam cried, "what are you doing here?" "I'm trying to rescue you guys," she explained, "but I haven't found a way inside this stone house." "You should get out of here," Adam said. "We're doomed. Save yourself." Watch cleared his throat. "Excuse me, I wouldn't mind getting rescued." Adam considered. "You're right. If she can save us without getting caught, that might not be a bad idea." He turned back to Sally. "Can't you crawl in through those bars? They look far enough apart." "Oh, I can crawl through the bars all right," she said. "But then what am I supposed to do? Fly down to you guys?" Watch nodded above their heads. "There's that chandelier there. You might be able to jump and catch hold of it." "It isn't that far from the window ledge," Adam agreed. "Who do you think I am?" Sally demanded. "Tarzan? I can't swing from a chandelier. I might get hurt." "That's true," Watch said, "but we're about to be boiled to death. I think the time for caution has passed." "I agree," Adam said. "I thought you were worried about my safety," Sally said indignantly. "I am," Adam said quickly. "I'm just more worried about my own safety," Watch interrupted. "I didn't say that," Adam said. "You were thinking it," Watch said. He glanced at one of his watches. "If you are going to try to rescue us, you better do it now. The witch and her black knight will be back any second." Sally squirmed through the metal bars, getting stuck only once, and crouched on the stone window ledge. She eyed the chandelier which had candles instead of electric lights, warily. It was only 6 feet away, but from her perspective, it was a huge 6 feet. "What if I miss and go splat on the ground?" she asked. "It won't be as painful as being boiled," Adam said. "What am I supposed to do once I'm swinging from the chandelier?" she asked. "We'll worry about that if you make it that far," Watch said. "Somehow," Sally said, "you guys don't fit the hero mold." She braced herself. "I'm going to do it. 1, 2, 3. Sally leaped. Her outstretched fingers barely reached the rim of the chandelier. The shock of added weight immediately pulled down on the rope that suspended the chandelier from the ceiling, which wasn't such a bad thing. Like Tarzan or Jane, Sally was able to ride the sinking chandelier all the way to the floor. The candles toppled and went out, their blood-colored wax spilling everywhere. Luckily, candles in the wall sconces still burned. When Sally was safely on her feet, she casually brushed herself off and walked over to them. "Did you know," she said, "that this castle is surrounded by a moat filled with crocodiles and alligators?" "We'll worry about that if we get out that far," Watch repeated. He gestured to their chains. "I don't suppose you have the key to these in your pocket?" "Can't say I do," Sally said, glancing around. "Where's the witch?" "Filling our bath," Adam said. He glanced at Watch. "We have to face the fact we aren't going to be able to break these chains. But what if we have Sally break something else?" "What?" they both asked. Adam nodded to the hourglass. "It's her pride and joy. Most witches have a black cat, but she's got that. Maybe it's the source of her power. Knock it over, Sally. Break the glass and spread the dust over the floor." The idea of destruction appealed to Sally right then. Or so Adam supposed as he watched her attack the hourglass as if she were a hungry lion jumping a plump zebra. The thing was not welded down. Probably the witch had never had an unchained guest who hated hourglasses. A few stiff kicks and the thing fell over. It hit the floor with tremendous force. The glass walls ruptured. The diamond dust flew across the stone floor. Then everything in the nightmarish realm went crazy. The candles on the wall sconces flickered, almost going out, which would have plunged the room into total darkness. The ground shook as if gripped by an earthquake. The noise was incredible. The castle's stone walls began to crack, the dust from the splintering stone showering down on them. But best of all, the iron pole around which Adam and Watch were bound cracked in two. They were able to pull their wristbands up and over the pole. Deep in a lower room, they heard the witch howl in anger. "We'd better get out of here quick," Adam said, grabbing hold of Sally, his hands still somewhat tied by the handcuffs. "She sounds unhappy." "That's putting it mildly," Watch remarked, straightening his glasses. They raced toward what they hoped was the front door. Then Adam stopped them. "Wait a second," he said. "We can't just leave others in the dungeon." "What others?" Sally demanded, as the ground continued to rock. It was as if the castle were being ripped apart at the seams. "There's a bunch of kids in the dungeon," Watch explained. "They seem nice," he added, "except they're missing a few parts." Sally made a face. "I do hope they have plastic surgeons in this dimension." "We have to get them out before the whole castle caves in," Adam said. Sally and Watch looked at each other. "He's really into this hero thing out all of a sudden," she said. "We should never have called him a coward," Watch agreed. Adam was impatient. "I'm going back for them." Sally didn't protest. "We may as well. All we have waiting for us outside the store is a bunch of hungry crocodiles and alligators." Just before they left the living room, Adam stooped and picked up a handful of diamond dust that had fallen from the cracked hourglass. It sparkled in his hand like a million tiny suns. Like magic, really. He stuffed it in his pockets. Running, they found the door to the dungeon and hurried down the winding stairway. But when they reached the dungeon, they discovered that all the cells had burst open. The prisoners had already escaped. But where did they go? Adam wondered aloud. "This hallway must lead to a way out," Watch said, nodding ahead. "Or at least it must lead to one now. I feel a draft of outside air." "I would rather go under the moat than try to swim across it," Sally said. "How did you get across it in the first place?" Adam asked. "I told the guard I was a personal friend of the witch and that I had an appointment," Sally shrugged. "He was a troll. He was pretty stupid. He lowered the drawbridge for me. The ground convulsed again. All three of them were almost thrown to the floor. Behind them, the stairway collapsed in a pile of rubble. Adam helped Sally regain her balance. "That decides it," Adam said. "We have to go the way the others went. It's probably the smart thing. They know this castle better than we do." "Yeah, but half of them are blind," Watch remarked. Yet they had no choice, and they knew it. They raced forward, down the dark underground hallway. Up ahead, they could feel fresh air, yet behind them, they could hear the witch, her echoing cries, cursing them. Chapter 17. The passageway emptied onto the surface of the cemetery. That was both good and bad. Good because they had to get to the cemetery if they were to escape through the interdimensional portal. Bad because the remaining corpses under the ground were climbing to the surface now that the world was coming to an end. As they ran toward the tombstone, a bony hand clawed up out of the mud and grabbed Sally's ankle. "Help," she cried, as the hand began to pull her under. Adam and Watch leaped to her aid. Unfortunately, the skeleton had lost none of its strength with the loss of its muscle tissue. He was one strong corpse. They couldn't pry Sally free. Her right leg vanished up to her knee, and she became frantic. Adam took hold of her arms and felt himself being pulled under. "Don't let go of me," she pleaded. "I won't," Adam promised. "Watch." "What?" "Do something," Adam said. "Like what?" Watch asked. "Get one of those sticks," Adam ordered, referring to the dead branches lying around. "Jam it between Sally's leg and the skeleton's hand. It might confuse the thing." "I'm not that skinny," Sally said, fighting hard to stay on the surface. Slowly, steadily, Adam was losing his battle with the unseen monster. A few more seconds and Sally would be in a coffin. "Hurry," Adam snapped at Watch. Watch found a suitably strong stick and stuck it down into the hole that had widened as more and more as of Sally's body disappeared into it. But because he was working in the dark and in the mud, Watch had trouble wedging the stick between the hand and Sally's ankle. Finally, he found his mark. Sally let out a scream. Watch was, after all, using her calf bone as leverage. "That hurts," she complained. "Getting chewed on hurts more," Adam said. "Getting boiled hurts more," Sally said sarcastically. "I've heard it all before." She slapped Watch on the back as he struggled with the subterranean creature. "Just get this thing to let me go." "It would help if you didn't disturb my concentration," Watch said. Sally slipped deeper into the hole, and Adam almost lost his grip. "Adam," she cried desperately. "Sally," he cried back. "If you love me," she pleaded, "stick your own leg in the hole. Maybe it will go for you instead of me." "He doesn't love you that much," Watch muttered. When Adam made no move to offer his leg, Watch continued, "Just hold on a few seconds more. I think... Yes, it's taking the bait. It's grabbed the stick. Pull your leg out, Sally." "Gladly," she cried in relief. The moment the creature let her go, Adam was able to yank Sally free. He helped brush the earth off her as she stood up. She pushed away his hands. "The last thing I'm worried about right now is how I look," she said. She pointed to the tombstone. "How do we get through that thing?" "We better figure that out quick," Watch said, glancing over his soldier in the direction of the toppling castle. "We have company." It was true. The Black Knight was coming, and with him the witch. Chapter 18. They hurried toward the tombstone, backward, but all they got for their troubles were more bruises on the back of their heads. Their interdimensional portal was not open. "Why isn't it working?" Sally demanded. "I suppose you could ask the witch," Adam muttered. "She'll be here in a minute." "The knight will be here before her," Watch said, grimly pointing. "Look, he's coming around that tree. We need weapons. A few strong sticks." "A few hand phasers would be better," Sally remarked. They quickly scavenged for sturdy branches that they could use as oversized batons. In a rough semicircle, they stood guard in front of the tombstone. The knight approached warily, his silver sword drawn. Behind him, maybe 200 yards, the witch strode rapidly through the convulsing graveyard. Her hair shone like flames. The light in her green eyes was the sickly color of death. When the knight was maybe 20 feet away, Adam ordered the others to spread out around him. "We'll come at him from every side," he said. They fanned out. The knight, although big and strong, was somewhat clumsy. Adam smacked his steel plate knee and his wooden stick, and the knight almost lost his balance. Sally was more bold. Coming at him from behind, she whacked the knight over the top of the head. He didn't like that. In a surprisingly swift move, the knight pivoted. He swung at Sally with his silver sword. Watch and Adam gasped. Fortunately, Sally ducked. The knight's stroke missed. For a moment he stumbled. Watch took the opportunity to drop his stick and leap onto the knight's back. His arms flew around the knight's neck, and he rode the black warrior as he would a galloping horse. "What are you doing?" Adam cried. "I saw this in a movie," Watch called back, barely able to hold on to the knight. We have to get him off there, Sally cried, rushing to Adam's side. The knight will kill him. No truer words were ever spoken. Even though they could whack the knight with their poles, they couldn't rush him directly, not unless they wanted to be cut down by a sword. Adam and Sally watched helplessly as the knight reached over his shoulder and grabbed the watch by the arm. Slowly he began to pull the watch to the front, raising his sword in the process. In a moment, Adam knew Watch would be missing his head. Just then a bony hand stabbed out of the ground. Twirling dead fingers searched left and right as if worked by invisible radar. The skeleton's palm scanned the area. Struggling with Watch, the knight stepped one step too close to it. The hand grabbed the knight's boot. The knight dropped Watch and stared down at the thing. Making an angry noise, the knight raised his silver sword. The skeleton yanked hard on the black boot. The knight lost his balance and fell backward, dropping his sword. Another skeleton arm wrapped around the knight's neck. He was being pulled under. Adam, Sally, and Watch let out a shout of victory for about 2 seconds. "Enjoying yourselves?" the witch asked, standing dangerously tall, only 30 feet away. In the struggle with the knight, they had momentarily forgotten her. The fire in her ruby ring flared, and a cold green light shone in her eyes. She took a step forward and smiled wickedly. "You have been more trouble than I expected, but at least now I have the 3 of you together." Adam reached for the knight's sword. It was incredibly heavy. Motioning the others behind him, he pointed the sharp blade at the witch. "Take another step," he warned, "and I'll run you through." "Ha!" the witch said, and took another step forward, moving between them and the tombstone. "You would be no match for me if you had 100 men and 100 swords behind you." She raised her right hand, the one that held the burning ring. "The second, I could melt you as if you were made of wax." "I think she's serious," Sally observed. "Perhaps we could discuss terms of surrender," Watch said. "No," Adam said. "You don't want to bargain with a witch." "And maybe we don't have to. Something just occurred to me. The clocks run backward here. Time moves backward. Everything here is backward. Maybe walking forward here is the same as walking backward at home." "Huh?" Sally said. "We should go through the tombstone straight on," Watch said excitedly. "Exactly," Adam said. "Why did you have to think of that now that the witch is blocking our way?" Sally asked. The witch mocked them as she moved directly in front of the tombstone. "Yes, Adam, your brilliant idea came a few seconds too late," she said. "Now what are you going to do? Search for another witch's tombstone? I'm afraid the only way you can find another is if you kill me and erect a stone over my grave." Her left hand caressed the ring on her right hand. The fire within the jewel continued to grow. Her smile broadened as she added, "A blind boy might find that hard to do, don't you think?" Adam was sick and tired of her threats. "I'm not blind," he cried and rushed at her with a sword. Unfortunately, he didn't get too far. A tongue of flame leaped out from the glowing ruby. It struck the tip of the sword and licked down the shaft of the blade. Feeling his hand burning, Adam dropped the sword to the ground. At his feet, the knight's weapon melted into a silver petal. Adam stared at it for a moment, amazed. He didn't even see the witch reach over and grab him by the throat. But he saw her eyes, oh yes, as she pulled his face up to hers. Her green eyes shone like lasers, and he had to blink to see. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw a sharp nail on her free hand approach. "I think I will gouge out your eyes here and now," the witch said grimly, "in front of your friends. Let them have a good look at what becomes of those who defy me." "Just 1 second," Adam pleaded. "I have something for you. I stole it from your castle." The witch paused, her sharp nails now only inches from his face. "What did you steal from my castle?" she demanded. "I'll show you," Adam replied. He reached in his pockets and pulled out a handful of dust from his hourglass. The diamond dust. The magic stuff. He opened his palm and held it in front of her face. The witch stared at it, shocked. "You will pay for what you did to my clock," she swore. "Sure," Adam said, "but not today." Adam took a deep breath and blew the dust in her eyes. The witch screamed and dropped him, staggering back, rubbing her now burning eyes. She tripped over the head of the Black Knight, which was all that was visible of the poor guy. Letting out another bitter cry, the witch fell to the ground. Bony hands thrust up through the soil and grabbed her by the red hair. They pulled hard, and the witch began to go under. Adam did not wait to see if she was able to break free. "Come on," he shouted to the others. Holding hands with Sally in the middle, they leaped toward the tombstone. The world spun, the universe turned, the earth became the sky, and the sky became the ocean. They fell without moving. They flew without wings. Finally, everything went back, black, and time seemed to stop. Then they were standing on the other side of the tombstone. A blue sky shone overhead. They were home, safe in Spooksville. Okay, so this is the epilogue. Adam walked Sally home. Watch had gone off to buy another turkey sandwich and talk to Bum. Watch wanted to know if there was another secret path, as if the first one had not been enough for one day. Adam and Sally wished him good luck. "Take your glasses with you this time," Adam had told him. "I'm not bringing them to you again." As they walked the peaceful streets of the real Spooksville, they both noticed that the sun was almost directly overhead. "It looks like the same time of day as when we met," Sally said. "It probably is," Adam said. "I think the whole time we were on the other side, we were moving backward in time. I wouldn't be surprised if we run into ourselves leaving our house. Leaving my house." He paused. "Maybe we should hurry and stop ourselves, save ourselves all the trouble." "Why? Let them enjoy their adventure." Adam was amazed. "You enjoyed today?" "Sure. Just another day in Spooksville. You'll get used to Sundays like this." Adam felt exhausted. "I hope not." They said goodbye at the end of Sally's driveway. "I would invite you in," she said, "except my parents are kind of weird." "That's okay. I better get home and help my dad unpack the truck." Sally leaned closer and stared into his eyes. "I like you, Adam." He felt nervous. "I like you? Could you tell me something, please?" "What? What was their name?" Sally asked. "Whose name?" "The girl you left behind." "I didn't leave any girl behind, I told you." "You were serious?" Sally said. "I was and I am." "I don't have to be jealous?" Adam had to laugh. "You don't have to be jealous, Sally. I promise." "That's a relief." She smiled and squeezed his shoulder. "Will I see you soon?" Adam shrugged. "Probably tomorrow." Adam walked home. His parents and sister were in the kitchen still eating lunch. "Back so soon?" his dad asked. Adam tried not to smirk. "Yeah," he said. "How's your back?" "Fine," his dad said. "What's the town like?" his mother asked. "It's interesting." Adam thought a moment. "I don't think I'm going to be bored here." And that is the end of Spooksville, the first book, The Secret Path. And the next book actually is called The Howling Ghost, and it's about a lighthouse. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that book, that little series I did. I'm glad I finished it. I'm glad I finished something. Yeah. I guess I picked a good day to film because there's no fire alarms in the basement and there's no people here. So I'm glad I picked a silent day to finish that book. So I hope everyone enjoyed that. Leave a comment if you would like me to continue with the second book. Or perhaps maybe I was thinking about another thing as well, but I have to think on it. Anyway, hope you guys have a good day or a good night or a good nap. See you, everyone.